Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chief Learning Officer's Fall 2020 Virtual Symposium. I'm Ashley St. John, CLO's Editor-in-Chief, and it's so great to see so many people joining us today. And we're very, very excited to kick off the next 2 days of programming, discussion, and so much more. Our theme for this symposium is Learning in the New Age and Beyond. And even though we've been talking for years about a new age of learning and the impacts of disruption on learning and development in organizations, I don't think any of us could have predicted exactly how much disruption we would be facing in 2020. COVID-19 has thrown so much of what we thought we knew out the window. It's humbled the world over, and no person, no industry, no organization has been exempt from the pandemic's ramifications. When it comes to L&D, learning leaders have had to adapt quickly, converting classroom learning to virtual, aligning training with new workplace safety protocols, and continuing to lead through a crisis. Change was already happening so quickly, and the pandemic literally slammed a foot on the gas pedal. At the same time, racial tensions, particularly here in the US, have heightened dramatically. Following the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, as well as the shooting of Jacob Blake, protests and riots have erupted across the country in an outcry against police brutality against Black lives. In addition to cultivating a diverse and inclusive work environment and culture where all employees feel safe, welcome, heard, and supported, learning and development professionals have also been responding to increased emphasis on creating and delivering DEI efforts that create lasting change. In fact, establishing a true culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion that permeates the organization from the top down. It's been a difficult year, full stop. But back in early June, I read an editorial by Daniel Patrick Sheehan, a reporter for the Morning Call, that really resonated with me at the time, and it continues to do so today. The article was titled, "Pandemic, Civil Unrest, and Economic Freefall. Is 2020 Our Darkest Hour?" In it, Sheehan wrote, "Normal is part of the problem. When normal includes police killing civilians over misdemeanors and then tear gassing protesters and the reporters covering the unrest, when normal includes a deadlocked government and bureaucracies caught flat-footed by a pandemic they were warned would happen sooner or later, well, then normal isn't something we ought to want to return to at all. Yes, change is scary. Yes, disruption is incredibly disruptive. But as several L&D leaders pointed out in a recent CLO webinar, we have a burning platform right now. It's a unique time to instigate powerful change. This is a true awakening in the world and in corporate America. To change, we have to experience pain. The George Floyd video caused pain, which has given us a springboard to some potential real action and change in addressing systemic racism in America and in our workplaces. The pandemic certainly has and continues to cause pain. And it has in many ways made us realize that we as humans are more vulnerable than we may have liked to admit. But if the past few months have been any indication, it also is showing us that we're more agile, flexible, creative, and resilient than we may have realized. People who never had the opportunity to work remotely have managed to do so while also taking care of their families and dealing with the stress of social isolation. Essential workers and those on the front lines have put on a brave face day after day, put themselves in harm's way to carry out their jobs. And organizations and people across all industries have come up with creative solutions and ideas to continue to perform their operations, serve their customers, and stay afloat in an economic crisis. The learning and development space has certainly been no exception. The stories we've been hearing from CLOs and learning leaders about how their teams have been able to react, to pivot, and to continue providing the best learning and education opportunities to their workforces have been so inspiring. And we hope to have many discussions over the next 2 days around all of these topics. To start today off, we have 2 sessions starting immediately after this at 10:45. Purpose-Driven Learning, Putting Skills to Work, presented by Effie Rangu of Degreed, and Diagnostics and DEI, the New Face of Talent Assessments, presented by Alyssa Vincent of Skillsoft. But I have a few additional things just to add before we kick things off. First and foremost, a huge thank you to all of our event sponsors, especially our platinum sponsors, which includes Cornerstone on Demand, NovoEd, Skillsoft, and Strategic Education Incorporated. I'd like to encourage everyone to interact in the platform's live chat, where you're also able to actually have video chats with your fellow attendees in addition to regular text chats. We have a bunch of resources available within the conference platform. Make sure you get a chance to explore our exhibit hall, visit the various booths, and check out the resources that they have available to download. Additionally, SHRM and HRCI certifications are located at the help desk. If you do use Twitter, our event hashtag is hashtag CLOSYM, so CLOSYM. And finally, please join us back on the main stage at 12:15 for today's CLO Power Hour, where you'll hear from Bank of America's John Jordan and Melissa Taylor from Porter Novelli. During these TED-style talks, they'll discuss the challenges and opportunities they're facing during this time of very rapid change. Thank you all again for joining us this morning, and we hope you have a powerful, meaningful, and impactful next 2 days. Thanks again.